Welcome to the Chantel Heart Show blog radio, Chantel Heart Show radio, TikTok, ED Diplomacy Alliance podcast with an S at Instagram. Follow me on other social media, Dr. Chantel Maxwell, Facebook. Check out the Reels, subscribe, like, comment respectfully in the communities, YouTube as well. Shan Reacts. Also Shan Reacts on TikTok as well. I did some research with Chat and Ask AI. The situation at the U.S. States-Mexico border has been a topic of much of the discussions and debate. As of my last knowledge, the update in September 2021, Biden administration had been facing challenges related to the surge in migrants arriving at the border. The administration had been working to manage the situation, and we all see that they say that he haven't. What was interesting is that Michelle Obama got up recently in a recent interview when asked what did she think about everything that was going on. And she explained that it is not the Democrats' fault so much. It is not the Republican fault so much. In other words, she was saying it is something higher and more than that. She was terrified. You could see it in her eyeballs. You can hear the trembling in her voice. I mean, the way, if you understand and know Michelle and know a regular person and you know politics, a lot of time politicians are unmoved and unbothered by other politicians unless it's been a threat. And they take the threat seriously like the gangs and like the mafias. But in this situation, she said higher up, she meant gatekeepers and gatekeeping. She meant cult. She meant those freaks out there who are walking around who are legal magicians and they're doing damage. And they're the reason for the crystals being brought out and the crystal black walls and the ceremony in the museums, sick, twisted ceremonies of dead being risen and blood sacrificing ceremonies. And it's sick. And overseas, a lot of places it is prohibited. It is forbidden. It is against the laws. It's against the religion, against God. Why can it not be against it in America? But in America goes for anything, like 7-Eleven. You know, I compare it to a woman where her legs open like a prostitute. Easy vagina for everybody. Easy penis for everybody. Easy sex for anybody in a sex house and sex clubs, cult clubs. And you know why I use that comparison? See how diseases spread? See how sickness and magic spreads and changes the body? Notice that usually when you get demon possessed, why is sex always the biggest forefront? Why does it always hit your body and sex becomes the biggest problem? As well as your mental decision making. And as far as your physical form, the things that the urges and the things that you feel in your body. The body is your temple. When you pour something in a glass, usually you're able to see it, right? When you pour magic in your body, it starts to come out. You start to see all kind of dysfunctional things. It's a sickness. It's a dysfunctional WWE match. It's dysfunctional. The situation at the U.S. border is dysfunctional because magic is being used in the White House. I know it doesn't make sense. I know me using sex in my political statement doesn't make sense. But people use a lot of different comparisons for a lot of different things. So I apologize if I offended anybody. Also use gang violence and mafia as well. I use religious comparisons. I'm talking about being easy. I'm talking about accepting anything in your body. Everybody don't understand gang violence and mafia language. Everybody don't understand sex. You got people who are celibate. They're virgins, whether you're a man or female, or transgender who never had sex. Everybody don't understand political world. So I can't just use one point of view. I have to use many different angles while I'm saying what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. And again, I don't mean to be offensive. Moving on. So, chatting with AI. The administration had been working to manage the situation, including addressing the root causes. There we go with the root causes of migration from Central America and implementing changes to immigration policies. That's what AI came up with, as well as me understanding and knowing that that was, what's been going on for us all. So I skipped in and said, AI, what about 2024? It said the border rule foreign policy about that situation. I don't have access of real-time information, but it did come up and address that. And this is part 1, but video 2. It gave me diplomatic engagement, essential engaging with countries, migrants. Diplomatic engagement. It's essential to engaging with the countries from which migrants are originating from. This may involve diplomatic efforts to address the root causes of migration. And here's done burn me out with that root causes crap. It's the only words you know. Such as poverty, violence, and the lack of economic opportunities. By working with these countries, the United States can help create conditions that reduce the need for the people to leave their homes. Well, that is not the only reason, because when you hear them talk, I've heard that they're here to meet me, the queen, the ambassador. They know that I'm being dog walked, neglected, and abandoned, and they got a heart to meet me and want to help me. How are they going to do that when you got the government not helping? I'm going to tell you why Biden them not helping me. It's not all because they don't want an all-white America. There's that clapback spirit. I told you I'm not on here to go for that, but I mean, it is what it is. They clapping back at me. I'm not doing this intentionally. But why can't the migrants have an office where it's at least it's virtual, Biden? Republicans, MAGA rights, who hold the office majority. Why can't I speak to them? Y'all complaining and holding me out. Give me a virtual office. Let me speak to them virtually. What harm can I do if you don't want my presence there? That's just virtual. It's a mess. But we got to hear their nonsense. So the only reason why they're migrating, why they're migrating to the United States of America or to other countries from where they are closest to them is not just to meet the Ambassador Chantel. It is not just to come here to be a pest and to take over Chicagoans or New York's or the homeless rate or to compete with the citizens in the United States of America. It's because something ran them out. Violence. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. Would you stay in a country that was killing your mama, sister, and brother and left you by yourself? Imagine what these people are going through. Imagine you. But you know why you can't imagine? Because you're selfish. And I thank America for helping these migrants because our forefathers and ancestors, we're smacking, spitting on them and stumping them in their face and we're locking them up. I want to know about the Ancestry.com. Well, half of them are here. You're letting them freeze to death on the curbs in New York City, in Chicago. People in Atlanta running around being threatened by Asians and blowing their heads off. Those are my ancestors you messing with. You messing with my people now. Malaysians. Why are you blowing up Asian people talking about it's their fault about COVID? It didn't even happen in Asia. It happened in China, first of all. Get some knowledge. You guys are sick. You destroy what you don't understand. This is why I hate politics. Because emotions get involved. It's no different than when I got into law enforcement. Seeing dead bodies, seeing blood, I got lightheaded. Even in the medical field, becoming a nurse and a doctor. Yes, many hats to my name. Many achievements that God allowed me to achieve. A lot of people got this story, a lot of people don't. But to the achievers, those entrepreneurial spirits who have actually become entrepreneurs and not by stealing from other people to get there. I mean, really wholehearted, honestly became who you are the right way. You understand. Let's get together. Let's help these migrants. People, citizens, y'all stop being jealous. Y'all stop being foolish. Whatever you don't have, first of all, everybody need to pray. Most of these migrants, you can hear them chanting and praying to God. And it seems like they got favor over you. You know why it seems like they got favor over y'all butts? Because you run around leading into your own understanding. You run around with no God. You run around being an atheist. You run around being a hypocrite. That's why it seems like the migrants, the motherland, aka the other land, has favor over you. And they do. I'll give an example of people who don't understand what I am saying. It's no different than having a set of family members. Even people in the community. You have your cliques, your groups. There are people who have favor upon each other versus downgrading, degrading, and acting like you're better than somebody else. Had you helped and done what you were supposed to do, maybe you would have been favored. Here's another example. Although I don't really condone favor, be it having a favorite clique or a child or something like that. But sometimes it tends to happen. Because everybody else working, being ungrateful, complaining. What do you expect? Here's another example. I want a plate. You sit at the table. I'm talking about cooks now, in the food world. Meal prep, okay? I want to talk to you and tell you example. To try to give everybody an example, because I may have young listeners, I may have old listeners, whenever my podcast goes viral. And they really play the real numbers. You, a lot of times, demand something to eat or drink. Did you put in work? Grandma used to say, did you help in the kitchen? Did you at least help set the table? But you want to run in the house and demand the biggest plate, or you just want to demand first dibs, first grabs. I don't think so. Grandma or auntie or somebody who asks for a little bit of help. Did you at least consider washing the dishes? No, you did not. Did you even consider putting the stuff in the dishwasher? No, you did not. I asked you to dry the dishes off. Did you do that? You ain't even do that. I asked you to get the food boxes and stuff in the cans and throw them in the garbage and in the recycling bin. You didn't even do that. That's an example of what I'm saying about the migrants and immigrating. You have audacity to be jealous. And God is making a statement. God's always talking. Just don't nobody hear him. And those who do are being blessed, and those who don't understand are being shocked. They're being scared. They're being intimidated. They're on defense. How did she? How did he? How did they? We got to go do something about it. What about us? What we going to do now? Ain't nothing. You're going to keep getting whooped. You're going to keep getting beat. It may look like you winning, but there's going to be a time where you come down and you stay down. There's going to be one day there's going to be a wipeout for you. That's on foreign policy. Let's respect our migrants and our immigrants. They ain't just here just to get some goodies and some goodie bags and to be in expensive, lavish hotels. Stop disrespecting them. Part 2. In the foreign policy and American economic development. This is still me addressing the U.S. border. You wanted me to speak. Why didn't she speak? I'm seeing the news. People say why she ain't speaking. I'm gonna tell you why I ain't speaking. There's people that think they got control over my life, and they stopping things. They're running and contacting people on my behalf, and I ain't told them to say or do nothing. Now, if it's my kids, if they in the right, then I thank them. If they not, they gonna see and hear from me. But here's the thing: I'm speaking out on my podcast and on my live social media about it, and I'm trying to address it. Economic development, investing in economic development, job creation in these countries with high rates, migration, immigration, can provide these people with the valuable opportunities for a home, at home, reducing incentives to migrate. Okay, so in other words, they don't have to be here if America stopped overthrowing their government role and spoke about that. When he talked about mercing the with Prince, Kinnick, and Trump and the Republicans, MAGA rights. And all this is recent. This is not just 2001 to 2024. This is also a recent topic that's very important in political seats. If we stop overthrowing, taking their treasury, but hold up, let me stop. Because in America, we were founded on theft. So how is a thief gonna stop stealing? How is a nympho gonna stop? You got those people who just steal and can't help it. It's a habit. They're so good at it. They done mastered it so long today. They just take something. They don't even need it or want it. They just do it just because they can. It's a sickness. It's a disease. It's an illness. Food, inflation, gas, utilities. Utility is so corrupt. We're hijacking businesses. Not business. Well, yeah, corporate, commercial, corporate America. Yeah, I can say that. And working class, and then lower class. Because I won't say the rich and the celebrities because they got money to blow. I would say have mercy. So you do that, right? You go to the company, they give coupons, they give discounts, they give, what do you call that? Affiliate program. Or whatever else they have for discount rates is what I'm looking for. Then you have, what is my notes? Then you have just American greed, corporate greed. The incentives. Them sitting around at their government foreign seats like Africa, like Asia, like China, like Turkey, like just all of them, all of Europe, all of the third world countries, all of them, United Kingdom. Okay, and I'm not throwing dibs or attacking people because you're my partners, you are my allies, and I love and miss you all. But the thing is, we have to do better, right? See, you're getting karma on all the countries who have overthrown governments. Now, see, you want me to speak, I'm speaking. And then when I speak, oh, shut her down. She's saying some heavy, deep stuff. Shut her down. She came back different. Shut her down. We don't need that. Where do you go with the uhs? What now? Just not right now. We can't afford to do this. We can't afford to do that. So, what we have to do is, well, migrants said, look, I tell you what, we're going to go and find incentives. So they came over to America, jumped the border. They straight superhero defense. They straight X-Men and Avengers up on the borders. All of them. I'm going to go on record and say, I don't condone it at all. But I'm going to go on record and say, can you blame them? I'm going to go on record because y'all finally want to hear me talk. I'm going to go on record to the politicians, to the Congress, to the Senate, to the House, as an advisor, as an advocating, as an activist, as a journalist, as embassy consultant. I'll do it too. Whatever I got to do. Babies are floating on. Oh my God. I told God, I said, God, you know, I love you so much. You've done so much for me, although it seems like I can't feel it and see it. And I'm shutting down. But God, you're in the midst of it. And I feel the Holy Spirit, you're in the midst of it. I feel my own rise. I feel that I've risen on different levels, physically, spiritually. God on so many levels has done it for me, just like he's done it for those migrants that y'all jealous of, that y'all intimidated of. For these kids, I said, God, show me a miracle. And I see babies floating across the water, the oceans, y'all. Now think about what's in the water, okay? We as adults ain't gonna even try that ocean. I don't see dozens and millions of people just floating in the ocean just because it's Sunday. because it's Happy Friday. No, you ain't about to be in that ocean with them sharks at the bottom of the food chain. Why you think they want to be? They want freedom. They want a job. They want a career. They want education. And for those who don't, gonna get treated like the ones who were born in America or anywhere else throughout different countries, abiding by their laws, whether they want to or not. The Bible tells us, obey the laws of the land. But at the same time, the Bible also sends his prophets to free the people, like he sent Moses, like he sent Esther. Free the people who are being in bondage. God did not bring us to be under bondage, but to be set free, to be prosperous. I'm so ready to get out there and talk and to make my move. And this will be my season that I'm going to do that. I'm going to show up. I'm finally finna show up because God is giving me that confidence too. He's removed all fear, trembling, and doubt, and frustration, and cluelessness. 3, strengthening asylum systems, which burns me up. Working with international organizations, partnering with the countries to strengthen asylum systems to provide humanitarian needs for those in need, right? It can help address the humanitarian aspects of migration and ensure the individuals fleeing persecution, violence, and that have access to fair asylum process, border infrastructure on security, investing in the border infrastructure and security measures can help migrations to manage it. How to ensure the safety and security of both migrants. Of course, we got to review foreign policy, American policy, security policy, DHS, Homeland Security, etc. For the communities along the border, building the wall, having trusted security out there that's not going to say, hey, what you got that I can put in my pocket to make my career, my day, my life better, whether it be drugs, some sex, whether it can be a high, whether it can be connection over there in a foreign country. So we got to be careful who representing us and who in the very country that we are in. See, that's the main problem. Matter right, just want to blame foreign immigrants who are born in America. That's all our fault. We partnering with them and they higher up got power to make these decisions. That's why it's sloppy. That's a lie. You sloppy because karma is hitting your butt back because how you founded this country. You found it on a lie. You found it on the backs of those migrants. You found it on the backs of the forefathers of those migrating. I say, what's wrong with letting them have a little luxurious experience? Asylums. First of all, these insane asylums, I can testify and say I was thrown in there by the music business industry, by gatekeepers who doped me up with so much medication, recorded me as being crazy and insane, and then tried to stamp it on me, and ain't nobody buying that. See, when God got you, he gonna protect your name. He gonna protect your family. He gonna protect your endeavors. He gonna protect everything, all things you. Your seats. It might take a minute to get back. I tell you what, if I was you, like me, I say I don't even want it. I'll build my own infrastructure. I'll build my own seats. But what you won't do is shut me up. It was dirty how they did Mandela. They dirty how they do a Mandela son. They dirty how they overthrow these countries with gay rights. Don't nobody got to be gay if they don't want to. Don't nobody have to do drugs and sell it in their country if they don't want to push that garbage and liquor. Don't got to do it. Child laboring, overworking. Don't got to do it. Religions, certain that they got to take cults, that they got to receive. Don't got to do it. I say fight back. And with that being said, I'm still on I was 4. Security, infrastructure, borders, touching on immigration reform, implementing comprehensive immigration reform. Again, that's hypocritical. When's the last time everybody done sat down and visited a reform? You got me all the way bent. Because these reforms, some of them are good, some of them are a joke. And these cults that got power, we straight up in the book of Eli. These reforms that are addressing the needs of the United States economy while also providing a pathway to legal status for underdocumented immigrants already in the country. Oh, And this can create a more orderly and fair immigration system. Okay. I'm not against that. So follow up with the laws, get permission. I mean, it's sort of kind of like, hey, can I come over your house? Well, not today. And then you kick in the door and then you coming in there raping on people, drugging people, putting stuff in their food, controlling them, witchcrafting them, all the stuff that I've been through, that I'm going through. It ain't cool. You want to come over to a country, it don't hurt to follow the laws of the land and to get the application and to wait. Get that passport and to save up your coins. Become an international exchange student. Get your work visas, your church visa, whatever it is you're doing to come over here, there, wherever. But again, to those who are going through destruction, violence, yo, people, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm crying because while these people are coming over here, while in the circle of these migrants, they're killing each other. They being pimped. They being throat being slit. They being sacrificed. Y'all got to understand what they going through right now while y'all pointing fingers. Get them, stop them, jail them, box them up together. So you just re-victimizing them while they're already a victim of what they even running from. And then they're victimized in the crowd because the crowds are mixed with different cultures and cults. My Lord, man, this is a freaking, it's Resident Evil. I always said Resident Evil was real. I'm not saying you migrants are Resident Evil, but I'm saying the entity, what is in there, the spirit realm, what hovers over, the portal of what's out there, what's in the air, what's in the persons, what's the world that the people are a part of, what controls them, what they answer to. These are just a few potential solutions that Ask AI helped me out with answering the questions to the U.S. border, to the migrants, to the immigration reform. These specifics would depend on involving circumstances and collaboration with other countries. How can we collaborate with other countries if we're too busy overthrowing them, just like Mr. Roland Martin was saying on Black Media Outlet? How can we do what the MAGA rights wants us to do and just be civilized people and just vote if you are all up in the votes and you scandalizing everything? Hillary, Trump, congratulations, you was our president. But you didn't get it. Like Michelle Obama just said, it's not none of the political people. It ain't who missing out of office. So get your mouth off of me. It's not because you're an immigrant and you was born here or you migrated over here and bought some commercial property just to come be in the White House and rule for a little bit. Like Michelle said, it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It is what is in there. Boom. Scary movie. It's a freaking scary movie. It's a cult nightmare gatekeeping massacre. They murdering. They drugging. They doping. They doing magic. You ain't no different than a pimp to a hoe. You ain't no different than a gang leader recruiting. You ain't no different than the bad mafia families who go and greed. To the pastor who greedy and pimping the church. To the students and the predator principal who's a sex offender. You ain't no freaking different. You just got a different name, a different face, in a different place. But y'all want me to talk? I'm talking. You want to insult me? Why she don't speak? Where's she at? Man, y'all don't even respect me to show my picture or say my name. And if you do, I don't see it. I'm being told you are, but I don't see it. And I thank you for doing it, and I don't want you to stop. So that's the response for that. That's also chat with AI who helped me to get through these things that was difficult for me to just sit and think of them on. Because there's so much to this. Okay, to this news, to this global leadership, to the world stage, the UAE, the leaders, G20, NBC consolers. So, moving on, I think it gave me more about the importance for the news organizations to maintain professional, respectful tune when reporting on global leaders. Insulting them, derogatory language can be undefamed. Credibility of news outlets can be hostile in political climate. Professional journalism should be prioritized. It should be informative. It should be balanced. Fox News, MAGA rights, people. When reporting, y'all want to hit people with their disrespect because y'all messy. Offering diverse perspectives and fostering constructive dialogue. They don't know how to do that because they of another entity, what Michelle Obama was saying. A fool don't know how to not be a fool when you are full of pollution. When you are full of demons. You are what you answer to. Even when critical contributes to healthier public discourse and more informed citizenry. Okay? So, and then it also, AI helped me with, so in other words, I just broke down what I just got done saying and reading with the Ask AI. That's speaking on the clapback. That's what I was talking about, that right there. Overthrowing governments, being disrespectful to immigrants and migrants, disrespecting the culture, westernization, diaspora families. I am a contributor, partner, ally, who's well-respected, well-rounded, and God has allowed me to return. I am so excited because I'm on my way. I know I'm not going to never tell you no calendar. I'm not going to post that. Why? So the perpetrators can meet up with me? So the devil can run out ahead? No way. The Spirit of the Lord says, don't let the right hand know what the left hand is going to do. It's a reason for that. Don't let the left foot know what the right foot going to do. It's a reason for that. That has been my downfall. Got to get up my security. Got to get up to trust the people that's got my back. Got to go to God who has my back. Because only God knows. I mean, look what they did to Jesus, for God's sake, my Lord. So we got to learn as Christians to take, and even as, if you're atheist and you're listening, even in the celebrity, in the music business world, corporate America, you got to have tough skin. You have to have thick skin. That's the oldest saying. I've been hearing that saying since I think I was about 5 years old, when I was becoming a child star. And I was so excited. Those was the happiest little moments of my life. Right a little bit before I was touched and molested by an uncle. You got to have tough skin. The rage and the emptiness and the fear and the frustration. Things that I talk about that I'm uncomfortable to talk about, but I have to because there are many victims and people out there like me. Same story. Same issues. And we are great people that make this world a great place because there's so much love in us to give. While asking God to help smooth us out, balance us out, rebuild us, reconstruct, just redo everything His way, not our way. This is part 2, ending off on number 5 of the U.S. border, Biden and Harris. Chatting and talking with Ask AI, which I love because it helped me break down my research and really expounding on the dialogue of what my clapback was really all about, and responding to the politicians out there who are really dog walking me in the public. Do you hear me? Now, they ain't physically saying words because they know better. And that was I got a little hood right there. Because I don't like bullies. They gangsters. What's wrong with when I turn up and be one? Oh, now I ain't supposed to be there. Now I'm using nigger behavior. But what you think a nigger is? A nigger is an ignorant machine. It's not a person. It's not a human. It's not skin color. This is why I understand why people want to put a bullet in somebody's head or stab or cut somebody's throat. All of y'all, black and white people, are ignorant. All y'all ignorant. Y'all are exactly what you're being called, a nigger at that point. But I understand the fight that comes with it, yes. When they hit you or they hurt you or they violate your spirit and your body physically, then yeah, stand up and do what you got to do, because it ain't that serious. Ain't nobody got time to be violated. Says one who represent and who is an activist of all things violation. So 5 brought me to the administration had been working with, knowledge to the September 2021 administration, including Joe Biden and Vice President Harris, have been addressing various issues related to the U.S. border, including immigrant policies, which the world is really coming down on them, and the border security and the management of migration flows, which they ran Harris out of Guatemala and Biden out of other places because they said that they were doing a bad job, okay? And you hear any noise in the background, I'm at home, I'm not in the studio, I don't have the power of Loom and my expensive equipment to manage out the background. And sometimes I like for you to hear everything so that you can feel like you're one-on-one personal with me. But should I have been doing this in the studio since? Yeah. But anyways, moving on. The administration had been working to implement changes to immigration policies, addressing the root causes of the migration from Central America and managing the influx of migrants arriving to the U.S. border. This includes the efforts to improve and progressing the humanitarian assistance for migrants, well as diplomatic engagement with countries and the religion, and addressing underlying facts of driving migration, which means driving them back where they come from, putting the wall up, and yes, Biden and all other in the past presidencies have made money on migrants coming, because why not have foreigners coming here and help build? Most of Americans complain about a job. You don't come to work. You complain about your hours. You complain about your job, what you're doing at the job, about your boss. So these people come here and they're willing to work for $5. And they work their butt off and they hire their whole entire families. And then next thing you know, they're investors in a company. And you could have been an investor with your $700 in 2 weeks, but you're too ignorant. Oh, okay. Wow. But everybody want Queen to speak. So the U.S. Harris, they say, of course, she failed. She didn't go. There's footage. She ran. There's footage that she's just prancing around and modeling. No, I'm not attacking her. I'm just talking about what's out there and what was she doing. Okay, she popped up out of nowhere, unprofessional, and she did not come with the being there legit. She's ineligible all the way around, and yet this woman been there for years. And they complain about me? You got to be kidding. So the most current information on Biden administration policies and action related to the U.S. border, I recommend the chat Ask AI suggested that I consult with the latest news sources. And I usually go to Black Media. I usually go to my platform, YouTube, and that's where I love to stay and get all the information. Hey, there's a lot of resource, dirt, drama, and information that I need and that I don't need. And I'm just excited about my platform. But yeah, so there's a lot of bloggers that are really faithful about releasing information. The situation in the U.S. border is complex. the opinions and the effectiveness of that Biden administration, the approach. Vice President Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris involvement varies and it's widely. Addressing the challenges at the border involves a range of issues, as we know: immigration policies, border, inflation, infrastructure, just everything you can think of, policy, humanitarian concerns, and international relations. And I'm speaking because I'm involved in humanitarian concerns, as far as being a humanitarian, as far as not being in the Oval Office, as far as you never seen me at the UAE. First of all, you're there just voting for people, as the one of the African female ambassadors was mentioning. They call her Mama. First of all, she highlighted that Africa is not even accepted. They're a joke. No, I'm not saying Africa is a joke. I'm saying UAE treats them like they're a joke. Not all of UAE. I mean, excuse me. I mean America. I mean, when they come, they're only asked to vote. They're heard. They just got accepted and counted, and I'm thankful of that. And I am one of the ones who push that agenda. And I'm thankful that God has allowed my power to mean something, to count. Thank you, Lord, for that. Along with the humanitarian concerns and them being welcomed and we making moves and connections, international relations with the UAE, G20, G7, and whoever else, it's important to consider various perspectives, sources, and information, and follow-up has been the main concern. I still have that issue. Africa had that issue. Other foreign countries that I witnessed them say out of their mouth in person many years ago, and today, multiple years that I have not been there, over about, 15 years? And they have the complaint. America takes us as a joke. They don't follow up. So we have to use and put it in perspective and respect and honor as diplomats, as professionals, as human beings, to consider one's feeling, to consider one's seat, to consider the actions. You are accountable for your doggone actions, doggone it. If you're going to be professional, be professional. If you're going to be a politic, don't be a fool. You know, it's just a lot bringing a whole bunch of nonsense that I call sloppiness to work with you. For what? What are you doing? Because it don't make sense. For the information when evaluating the effectiveness of administration efforts relating the border, given the nature of the topic for the current moment, assessment, consulting diverse sets of reputable, I don't know what this word is, news and sources, which is reliable, basically, to analyze, basically, I say research, to gain comprehensive understanding of each situation. And my words get tongue-tied. I do apologize. Because reputable is the word it was. But I get so tongue-tied in my accent, and that frustrates me. But that's the word that I was struggling to say. Now, this is speaking on the U.S. border of Texas. As my best last knowledge, according to chat, ask, and research with AI, it was an update for September 2021 with that U.S. border in Texas. Because everything goes back to the beginning. That, I want to say, I think it's Governor Abbott. Immigration, border security related policy challenges. Texas shares a significant portion of the border with Mexico because they're the ones sending all the buses everywhere. And I thought it was hilarious when they sent all the buses to Harris house. That was hilarious. The border region, Texas, has been affected, such as the state deeply involved with the border-related issues. Various factors, including illegal immigration, drug trafficking, human smuggling, trafficking, state, federal authorities have implemented, let's not forget child labor, child trafficking, measures to address these concerns, right? including border security operation and immigration enforcement. And I mentioned that earlier in the last episode that I had just released. I say you got to be careful who you trust. I might have made mention earlier in this one. You got to be careful who you trust, who you're hiring, who you say represent us, who represent you. You know, if you're going to be security, don't show up as a gang recruiter. Don't show up as a cult leader recruiter. It makes no sense. If I say I'm a doctor, I'm not going to show up as a dentist. If I say I'm a dentist, I'm not going to show up as a lawyer and doing different things that is not outside of your description. It doesn't make sense. Get your life. For the most current information on the situation in the U.S.-Mexico border of Texas, including the recent development of policy changes, I recommend consulting and updating with the news sources, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if we're doing that, we've done that. Migrants versus Americans in 2024 solution. Addressing this is a complex issue surrounding this migrants, Americans fighting, fussing, murdering each other. Comprehensive approach, and it considers the needs and the rights and attention, emergency state of the union, to all individuals involved. Here are some political potential components. I would even say loving spiritual solutions that I've already given, and I'll say it again, for this year 2024 solution. I mean, comment and let me know if I'm saying something that offends you. Contact me and let me know if I'm saying something wrong. Immigration reform, implementing comprehensive immigration reforms, balancing the security and pathways to legal status. Let's do it right, people. Let's get here the right way over the border. For undocumented immigrants, that's what I'm saying. Apply for your permission and you got to wait. Already living in the United States, such reform should also address the needs to the U.S. economy and the contribution to fair efforts economy to contribute to those enforcement of immigration system, economic development, the aid, investing in the development to address the root causes migration, Central America and other regions, to help create opportunities for these people. Okay. All right. And I believe I've touched on that already. Okay. So we have to get over ensuring and revisiting our reforms, revisiting at the table our policies, both American and foreign. Integration and support services, providing that to them. See, this is why I get out here with my podcast and stop feeling sorry for myself and my podcast about some numbers. You do the work in God and make the movement. So as I have to do that because I want to be heard, I want to be seen, that I'm not just hiding anymore because I have been, but not anymore. And those who are tuning in at this time, if you start tuning in and you happen to hear it while someone's what I mean by that is I was affected by ID theft, by cults, by memory loss I suffered. And I'm a survivor. So I'm ready to get out here with my podcast, with the billboards, pay my dues, and let the religious part of the mission and my endeavors and in my journey take its course again. And this time go further. And the safety to ensure the security for both migrants, borders of these communities, to contest these human trafficking and drug smuggling, to overthrow it, to muscle it and do something about it, to end it. Integration, support services, providing support services to both those migrants, American communities affected by immigration, including the language of education. Schooling our children and our adults, even if they got education where they are continuing education like me, I'm continuing education. Like, I don't even need it, right? I'm supposed to sort of kind of ish be retired, but you don't get to take my life and tell me, oh, you retired. While you watch me crumble, while you laugh at me and celebrate with things that belong to me, and you stepped over and got your knee in my neck, and you ignoring me and you making up stuff to keep me down. You don't get to do that. I'm rising to the occasion. So we need to help the migrants rise to the occasion. So that means to educate them. So take what they know and monitor it. Give them assessments. That's part of the protocol anyway, right? Training, access, healthcare, facility, integration of newcomers. Hey, if you're afraid of them, that's what the assessment is all about. See where their mind's at. See where their spirit's at. See where their knowledge is at. I'm talking, America. I'm talking. Fox News, I'm talking. Black media, I'm talking. Social media followers and those who support me, I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm finally saying something. Okay? And I feel good about it, and I feel confident. I feel like I have no worries because I feel confident and assured that God is going to help all of us through the things that we need him to help us with. If we move out the way and let him, right? So let's not pound our immigrants. Let's help them. Let's bless them. Let's not be afraid and push them around and think we're better than them. If you don't want to be a part of it, then go your way. God got your number. He got you. Don't even worry about it. You go do you. And you should feel shame. Diplomacy International Corporation, engaging in diplomatic efforts, collaborating with international partners, addressing the global factors is what I'm doing and have been trying to do. As far as the migration, to foster and coordinated response and challenges posed by the migration. Community engagement and dialogue, promoting constructive dialogue, understanding between the migrants and American communities, which again, they're fighting and tearing each other's neck down, to build mutual respect and address concerns on both sides. I got something to say right before I pass this last one that's on that topic. You got a lot of people who are already foreign in America anyway. They're born here. So one of the main solutions is common sense, folks. If you speak Latin America and Spanish, get out there and find them. You'd be surprised that a lot of foreigners speak a whole nother language that they migrating from. As I did my research and as I did my studies over my journalism when I was traveling many years ago. If you speak a language, get out there and make news and get out there and do the footwork. Hill Harper, great politician. Hill Harper, an American male actor, a good friend who taught me, he was a mentor, one of many, along with Tasha. Shout out to you. We know her from Tyler Perry, the one with the big mouth. But Hill Harper, going the political seat, and he's fighting for the race to run. That man's going to make a great president. I see him as being the next president and being in Obama's shoes. And if I had a wallet right now, matter of fact, I'm going to reach out to the people who support me, that we get Hill Harper. We do everything in our power to get Hill Harper in that seat. Hill Harper is a man after God's heart. He's a man. I mean, not only is that man beautiful physically, my Lord, but he's beautiful spiritually. And that man's got a brain on him. You hear me? He's got a heart on him that won't quit. And I know what I'm talking about. It's important to note that specific of any solution will depend on the evolving circumstances and collaboration of various stakeholders, including government agencies, local communities, civil society or organizations, and international partners. The holistic approach aims to balance the needs of migrants, Americans, while addressing underlying causes of migration. The solution for policies to help migrants in 2024. Okay. So, once again, it's all about not being afraid. It's all about getting out there and saying, hey, I have something. Hey, I can help you. Hey, we got room over here. Hey, this hospital is not going to turn you down. Hey, you need to get whatever you got access as far as your job and experience and your skills and training. You can come and work over here. We'll pay you so much X amount of dollars, XYZ, whatever formula you can create for them. Okay. And developing these policies, helping migrants in the United States should consider comprehensive humanitarian approach, spiritual Christianity approach if you're Christian. If you're atheist, at least common sense and with respect, talking to the people the right way, not making them feel like a dog, feeling like you better than them, Holistic approach. Humanitarian assistance, providing migrants with the access, shelter, food, water, medical, variable populations with this unaccompanied minor and families and individuals seeking asylum. This is a responsible order that we have to take advantage of and to assist Biden and all of you Blinken ambassadors, Senate, House, Congress, people in the streets, church people, communities, schools, churches. Fair and effective and efficient asylum process. This is part 2 of what I'm talking about. The asylum, developing policies, 2024. Shelter and aiding and being considerate, comprehensive approach to addressing, and this is a solution, okay? And it comes up in Chat Ask AI if you want to start doing your research and expounding on it for those who are journalists. Fair and efficient asylum process, ensuring a fair, effective asylum process to allow individuals fleeing persecution, violence, and other forms of harm to seek protection in the United States of America. Did you hear that? Addressing backlogs in asylum processing, providing legal representation for asylum seekers. Now, when it talks about including the backlogs in asylum processing, let's protect the workforce, working families, those on payroll, those with the issue and a problem. We're supposed to have a solution to solve it. America, you really do brag. All you other big countries really do brag. You have solutions for who you want to help, and you help them. Thank you, America, for helping migrants. Thank you, America, for not continuing to be so brutal on the migrants. Yes, migrants, we do eventually got to take a step back and say, wait a minute, this is too many people. Wait a minute, help us get control. Wait a minute, y'all getting too excited. Wait a minute. It's overpopulating. We like the new Brazil. We are the new Africa in America, but so what? If there's room and space in the land, then let them be here. But I agree to do it the right way by document. I agree to get them to get the passport, the visas, whatever they got to get. I agree that they should have assessment before entering in the population with us who are here, because we have to be able to understand them. First of all, we have to be able to be informed that they even coming. That's only fair. It's kind of like when you have visitors coming to your house. You want to make sure your house clean. You want to make sure that it smells the part. You want to make sure that you clean. You want to make sure that you smell the part. You look the part. It's unfair for somebody to come on you and then judge you and then go and try to exploit you of that. God's karma is coming to them. Not going to get away with it. That's why I love you, God, because karma is real. Not going to get away with that. You migrants who are doing that, you're not going to get away with that. You who've been in America, born and raised, just doing stuff for the heck of it, you're not going to get away with that. And for you who do, there is a afterlife. You're not going to get away with that. I'm 25 minutes into the show. I really needed to hone in and speak about the public policies already, because I was getting backlash that I'm not talking. Basically, am I still there? Basically, mentally, And I'm told and show and informed that I'm told that, they're told and informed that I'm crazy and not capable. But I've been here. But here I am. I'm really speaking out now. Because I didn't really care about it. Because I seen that, why do you need a person like me to step up with thousands and thousands and hundred thousands of you that can't even do the job by yourself? And you need this one person to come and do what y'all can just get up and do that you don't want to do. That's sad. But continuing, this is about family reunification, prioritizing of migrants, their families who have been separated within Emancipation Proclamation. That is what the politicians are doing right now. I told y'all we never leave. I told y'all I wasn't over. Oh, she crazy. She ain't got no office. She can't talk. Trump crying. People who are higher up, who don't have an office, should not be counted. And then here come Colorado. Yeah, I guess you got a point. And then bam, down the gavel. And then let him to continue the race as a candidate in the political run. Man, that's why I ain't even kind of tripping. Well, I better not say that. Well, I say it. I'm not going to say it. Because once you start speaking towards voting, somebody can just say, you know what, I'm fed up, I'm tired. And you know what, I need you to vote. Because I'm registered to vote. I get there to actually go. I had car issues. I don't have a car. I don't have money. I don't have a house. Although I do possess and own all of these things, I don't have access to it because people leave me down here and they hit my children. They hit other things and get in the way where they can't come to me. Then in the name of Jesus, God's moving it out the way so that I can get up and come and do what I got to do. And I'm going to get up on my own and just start going places. But, and I'm praying about it too. So got to pray so that God can run ahead and protect them. But in saying that unification and migrant families who have been separated here in America, by America, when they were locked in, when all those babies was locked away in that cage, that was Emancipation Proclamation in broad 2001, 2, 3, and 2004. It's the key to consideration in immigration policy and enforcement practices. That is not how you practice occasionally like that. I suggested that they be on boats, nice boats that are renovated, or you could have gave them tiny homes or tents that will keep the cold out, that would keep the bugs out, that would keep the water out if they're in water-based areas. But who listened to Queen? Who listened to the brand ambassador? Who listened to the consultant? Who listened to me? Nobody. Did you consider it? If it's out there, like I said, I can't see it. I ain't seen no articles about it because ain't nobody gonna pass up doing a cover story on that. All these bloggers and vloggers. Legal pathway of migration. Create a legal pathway for migrants to enter the United States to work. Education, recertification with family members, approach, appropriate safeguards to manage migration flow, to protect the rights of both migrants and the U.S. citizens, addressing the root causes of, I gotta get another word, of migration, investing in international development and diplomatic efforts to address the root causes of migration, and including poverty, violence, lack of economic opportunities for these migrants in these countries of origin. Integration support, providing support services to these migrants who are admitted into the United States, including and their language, their training, what comes with them, basically. So, in saying that, job training, access, health, I already read that, healthcare, integration, success, that they be successful while they're here in the society. Collaboration with international partners, working with international organizations, partnering with these countries to develop coordinated responses, to share the responsibility for refugee protection and promotion regional stability and development. It's important to note that any policy to help migrants should balance humanitarian concerns, national security, to rule the law. The specifics of such policies will depend and evolve circumstances. The collaboration of various stakeholders, including government agencies, local communities, civil society organizations, international partners, faith nations that faith stays in greater fight and not fighting against each other. We need the partners of the community and other churches. This will depend on the evolving circumstances and the collaboration of various stakeholders, including our government agencies, our local communities, which I keep expounding on, civil society organizations, and international partners. Faith nation that is greater, that keep the greater fight against what our challenges. I'm expressing the perseverance of my faith, the challenging times that we hold and that we're in, that we're experiencing, the pandemics, holding faith and staying resilient in the face of these difficulties, in the face and the challenges of these pandemics. The important aspect of many people's lives that often a source of strength and motivation, helping people navigate through circumstances, and that we remain hopeful for the future. And the future does not mean 5-10 years from now. Future could be tomorrow. If you have any specific questions or anything that you want to say or ask me, do feel free to reach out to me. Any concerns, anything that I said, anything you want to address. Okay, but I mainly want to stay on the topic of policy solution, because that's what we need to hear and talk about. We're done complaining about what's been here over 10 years. Policy solution, untamed politics, and uneducated. Train them, educate them, do assessment, monitor them. Don't mistreat them. Deal with them how you have to. It in a professional, humanitarian way. It seems like you're expressing concerns about individuals entering political without necessary education. This is true and effective to the governments. It's required a deep understanding of policy, law, and complexities of the public administration. It is important for our political leaders, as myself, to be strong, to have strong foundation. I'm trying to build my foundations. I'm praying that God give my office back in the Oval Office. But see, I don't want to be there. I want to work outside of these offices. I don't want to be around these cult freaks. I don't want to be around these people who are being controlled by supremacists and threatened, like Michelle explained her experience was with these white women and cliques or against her husband, and them as being people of color and as the party that they represent, the diplomatic Black Caucus, and whatever else they were going through up there with these freaks. But this public administration has got to do better. This foundation, the knowledge, essential behavior, this ability, first to listen and not to blame. Let's stop blaming. Let's consider the diversities, the viewpoints. Let's be respectful. Decisions and the benefits of the public. But I want to tell y'all one thing, people who believe, talk, walk, and act like I do as far as common sense. You got to have thick and tough skin, because these MAGA rights ain't going to stop. Trump is not going to stop. Kamala Harris thinks she's going to be president. She's using magic she's floating on the Aladdin magic carpet. Y'all see her doing that. And she's using magic. That's why they got that endless Joel Osteen smile. No offense, Joel Osteen. But that endless demonic smile, is ridiculous. Education and training, creating programs, and that's just my opinion. The initiatives, to educate and train individuals interested in pursuing a career in politics and public service. Policy solutions are addressing this concern. This can include the courses on a public policy, which Kamala Harris and those that came with her don't have. Governing laws and other relevant fields. This chick came out of no freaking where. I'm telling y'all. She came out of nowhere. And people that was with her and those who are educated that worked in her office, good for you that you educated. Good that you left when you did. You're smart. Mentorship and guidance. That's a political subject. establishing mentorship programs and pairing aspiring politicians with experienced leaders like myself, like Bernie Sanders, like Biden, like the Obamas, like Clinton family, and etc. Even in Black America, where you get all of your knowledge, Mr. Roland Martin himself, and those who are doing Black media, covering politics and other great subjects that we need to know about culture. This provides guidance and to share knowledge and expertise, mentorship and guidance in the political world. Don't just pop up talking about you, the vice president. They must have threatened Biden. And emphasizing qualifications, encouraging political parties and voters. Okay, I think that means to prioritize candidates with a strong educational background. Yep. To be relevant, to experience, demonstrated understanding of public policy. I'm going to pause real quick and take a drink. Transparency and accountability is another subject in political. I can say that because I'm licensed, certified, and I hold degrees and diplomas of doctorate. Implementing measures and to the stature that the elected officials are transparent about their qualifications, that are held and they are accountable for their decisions and their actions. Trump needs to be held accountable for his decisions and his actions. But no, here come people like the Supreme Courts who are corrupt and cold freaks. And I said it. And Colorado, who passed this freak to get back in the walkway. Let me tell you something. These people celebrate their death, their loved ones who were murdered, who were stampeded, who was probably cut, stabbed, wounded, and whatever else they were doing. Died of being choked. I don't know, God forbid, the smoke gagged them, whatever it was. Died maybe of a heart attack, dealing with it later. That was affected on that day. We watching was affected. We still are affected. Although we were not there, we were there in spirit. We were there connected online. And it affected all of the United States of America and the entire world. Our policies, our reforms were a joke. And it was like it was all for nothing. And the allies and our NATOs, our partners watched this madness, and they're still watching, and they poke fun. And they say America is sloppy and has no control. They can't control their own country. And they come over here and tell us what to do. Do y'all know how bad that looked to be a man in your house and your marriage and your house fall apart because you wasn't a man? But yeah, you got the audacity to go out there and be a man in somebody else's house, kicking that woman's door in, taking over her bed in her house, mistreating her children who are not even yours, disrespecting them. I'll even go as far as to say a church. That you're not even the pastor of that church. Who are you to go walk into a church and tell them people what to do? Those are not your members. So if they don't want to do what you say, why are you screaming, yelling at these people? You might even be in the right. But again, they belong to that man or that woman, and they want to be over there doing what they say. They want to be under their authority. You're not going to get Joel Osteen's going to Cindy Trim doing what she say. And they're Joel Osteen. No, they're going to wait for Joel Osteen. That's just how it goes. Public engagement and encouraging public engagement is the subject. Political topic. Encouraging public engagement in political process and promoting informed voting campaigning by providing accessible information about candidates, qualification, and policy position. Okay. Which Trump does not have, which most of the MAGA rights don't have, which most of the GOPs who are corrupt, I'm sorry to say this, whatever side you're on. See, I got to speak because people keep saying dibs and throwing dibs out there. I watch the news all the time. I watch the politics all the time because that's what I am, a politician. And all I see is them slamming us. All I see is where's she at? Well, where is she? How come she haven't said anything? Well, where's higher up? Well, when I see that I'm comfortable, our sister don't mind making her way to get there. I know how to save up money and make a trip. But if God tell me not now, I gotta wait. That's not an excuse to fall back. It's foolish to step out and the time is not now. That's how I end up getting knocked down in the first place, being sloppy. Okay? We got to learn how to ask God for help. That's why the world is in chaos, not because of us leaders so much who are foreign immigrants to the Magarites. It is because we as a people again and again and again and again and again, and it seems like the migrants are winning, it's because they're answering and calling to a higher power. Not anything, but they're calling to God. When you hear them say, Yeshua, 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 or however, whatever tune they singing in, Yahweh, answer us, Yahweh. You know, we're sorry, Yahweh, however they're singing their songs they sing. God is acknowledging that. That is the most beautiful thing to answer to a God that is right. It's no different than answering to a woman that is right, a man that is right, a group of people who represent the right type of organizations that are doing good and making good change in the community. So my question is, where are common sense people? Are they here? Because you asked for people like us. Well, where is she? Here I am. And I'm going to make my way. The background to the relevant experience and demonstrated underlying and understanding the public policy, being transparent and accountable, public engagement and encouragement, and public policies, the process, promoting, voting, educational knowledge on voting, important of assessing the ballots, understanding that your number counts, like your number standing in the last days to get into heaven. You want to be counted in that number. The old women sing at church. You want to be counted in that number. Count me in the number. There's a song. It's important for us to recognize this. This landscape is diverse. To these individuals, to the various backgrounds, to the experience, those who contribute, those who, who will come to contribute to the effective governance. However, ensuring that these are those in position of leadership have the knowledge and the skill necessary to make these decisions, and they are crucial in being in the society. And that is my time. That is my public outtake on U.S. border, on public policy, on being legit, on foreign American policy, on reforms, on solutions overall. What a doggone clapback. What an understanding. What a dialogue. Okay, I've answered. I have to answer a lot more, so I will be back on another day. Try to do it by the end of this month, February 2024, because I am behind on my podcast. Enjoy my dialogues, because I'm going to come with a bigger impact. And I'm going to put this same exact one on the live podcast and just go through it over there so you can see me in live form. And I'm trying to build up my audience so that you can interact with me on YouTube and in my social media, Facebook and Instagram, things like that. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed this dialogue. It's meaningful to me. These are real answers. These are real solutions. They're authentic. They're real, like I am. And this is the Chantel Heart Show radio TikTok platform. Thank you, China Asia. This is Big Sister, a.k.a. Jessie J. You knew me as. You knew me as over there working as many different names, doing business as, trademarks, copyrights with theatrical production. Because I own and bought theaters, because I have a theater background, singer-songwriter, record executive, investor. Okay? Doing what I love. And I end up in politics as a journalist, activist. And it gave me a embassy seat, and I accepted it. God showed me as the New Age Esther. I accepted it. And I still accept it. And I still wait for you to connect and collab with you, Europe, embassy, consulate, allies, and partners. I thank you. And I ask that you continue to support me as I make my way to you in 2024. ENISED Diplomacy Alliance, join my alliance. Fight with me, beside me, with me, for me. Because I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to fight bigger and bolder and louder. Because it's time. It's been time to get right and to stay right. Okay? Let's do that. This is the season and the month of love, of forgiveness, of new things. And if you don't have it, don't trip. Go find it. Pray for it. Don't be desperate and thirsty. I'm not telling you that. But let's be about what you need to be about. And that's your business, about the Father's business. ED Diplomacy Alliance podcast with an S at Instagram. My live podcast. The other Instagrams, I don't have access to those. So meet me right there. Meet me at TikTok. Shan Reacts. Thank you. That's my time. Share the podcast.